All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Link to the Past Randomizer Fall 2019 Tournament. I'm Sinak, and I am joined by Mentos Man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm used to being up this time, unlike a lot of people, so that helped.
And me, I'm just getting off from a trip somewhere else, and my body clock's all messed up. So here I am tonight.
That works out well. Glad to have you with me for this. This should be a pretty fun race. We were talking before we came over to live. The chain Gem takes the lead in the series 1-0. His opponent, Roonespism, made the choice to put in the fast Ganon option for today's race. So they will not need to go to GT once they get all 7 crystals. They just go kill Ganon. It's honestly what I think I would pick if I were playing against Gem.
Yeah, I mean, it completely takes World War II hovering completely out of the picture. Takes Mimic clips out of the picture. Takes pretty much all of your GT execution just out of the picture. We will not be seeing GT this race. I mean, unless we're searching for a sword, which that'd be quite unfortunate.
It really would be. There are also some kind of more minor, subtle things that can change. Like, you have a little bit less motivation to keep T-Rock for your last crystal, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of little subtle effects it has as well.
So we should be getting started here in just a second, if not already. Gem is up by 1. If Gem wins this, he'll solidify a spot into the winner's portion of this little mini double elimination bracket, essentially. And Rooney, do we have what Rooney or Gem's opponent will be? Depending on who wins and who loses.
It looks like whoever loses out of their combo is going to be facing up against the winner is going to be facing NY Rambler. The loser is going to be facing Hacksaw.
Both pretty solid opponents.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Everyone who made it through the qualifiers in this is very good at this game. I was in one myself where 100+ people finished at sub 2 hours, so there's no easy matchup.
Indeed. All right, and we got our first 2 checks there. Just a piece of heart and 20 rupees.
Gem going with the lesser seen these days, start straight from Sanctuary instead of starting at Link's house going to Uncle like Roonespism. And all 3 Light World dungeons are crystal.
All right, and Rooney is going to give us a look at Uncle Tunnel. And Uncle just has a piece of heart. That's a nice bomb pull, though, from that tree.
That is. The way Rooney went into the Uncle area, he did not get that tree pull. We'll see. Looks like he's going to walk out and will be getting the tree pull himself here momentarily.
All right, and we just got some intel on some bombs that are on the Lumberjack Ledge. We probably won't be seeing those this match.
I don't know. What if you really need bombs? The Aga play for he's got a fairy, but
that's an unfortunate time to use a fairy.
In some ways, it's kind of nice just because you won't accidentally hold on to the fairy while trying to death warp later. You know it's gone.
So Rooney claimed 4 bombs. It's probably going to make his way over to CAC.
Yeah, we'll just be following in Gem's footsteps for now, walking over to Kakariko. Both with 4 bombs, that's enough to get through the 3 bomb checks in the village proper, as well as the race game. If need be, Gem getting some more to prep for some later stuff.
Hey, at least when Rooney comes here, Rooney will be able to at least churn in that bottle to to Sick Kid and see what Sick Kid's item is. Maybe that'll have something that'll give Rooney an advantage here.
Yeah, it's always nice if you don't go straight to Kakariko getting a bottle or the flute or really just anything that lets you get even one extra check and try to play that off into an advantage.
Alright, and what does Blind's Hut have for us today? It will be some bombs, $20, more bombs and more bombs. Bombs for days.
Beautiful. You got the tree full with 4 bombs, and oh, here are all the bombs in the world.
That's a pretty convenient flute, though.
That was a very blue Blind's Hut.
And I think we'll be hearing some music here in just a second.
I'm gonna do the well first, and then walk to bottle vendor, and then yep, gonna play a little song, wake up a little bird.
I mean, like, it's like 4 a.m., right? Like, birds have to sleep. What are we really doing to it?
It's kind of rude, really, but we did get the Moon Pearl right away in the well. That's always nice. Lamp, less nice to see right away.
And it looks like also Gem now has a bottle as well for Sick Kid.
Yep, that little starting advantage bounce out immediately, and more bombs!
Bombs for days.
That bottle vendor is working good business, though. He just charged double for those bombs, and, you know, Gem happily bought them.
Rooney also picking up his bombs.
Gem, recognizing that it's a good bee in the bottle, sets off on the vendor who gives him 100 rupees, you know, refunds him for that ripoff of the bombs. That's one of those tricks I don't think a whole lot of people know comparatively, but yeah, the bottle vendor really likes golden bees, and he'll pay you money to take one.
So something to keep in mind, though, is if you do that trick at home, make sure that statue isn't in view when you do it. I've had that bee just go over to the statue instead and try to attack it. The bird statue.
One of the people in chat pointing out that he also likes fish, which is, you know, wholly irrelevant unless you're playing Randomizer, when suddenly it's very valuable to know that he likes fish because there are little flopping fish everywhere.
Yeah. Hey, well, at least we got Zora money just from diving through Kakariko.
Yeah, that's off to a nice start, and, you know, Kakariko kind of empty. You got the flute, which is wonderful, Moon Pearl, which will help later, Lamp, which is worrisome because it could mean Aghanim is approaching. And Gem is just gonna, you know, YOLO the race game. He's not gonna go over there and check, just gonna say, hey, I barely got anything in Kakariko. Let's see what's over here.
Yeah, and he's preparing that flute for... Alright, yeah. He's gonna get out of there.
I don't know, shields are very valuable. Just a heart container inside the dam, no mirror, no hookshot, have to do the whole walk out, walk back in thing.
Feels hookshot, man.
Rooney, meanwhile, is wrapping up the Kakariko checks. He's probably going to be doing the same thing immediately afterwards, just fluting down to 7, checking out the dam, and walking over to Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, it's $20 there are underwater. Not gonna go for that.
You don't need a whole lot more money to be completely set for the seed at this point. I was real worried that bomb wasn't going to hit for a moment there.
Alright. Be careful with your bombs, Gem. Should be alright. Alright.
These Moldorms are really giving him the business. He's got one bomb left, but not much.
Where was these bombs for days? Where are they now?
20, 40, 60 flippers. And 300.
Well, now money for days.
Yep, 894 is enough to pay Zora, pay the digging game, the chess game, and have some spare to, you know, buy more bombs since you're down to 1.
And Blue Cane on Highlight Island.
There's a chance that'll matter at some point. Either way, I do like this. You grabbing the flippers, immediately using them to go do Hobo. He's probably either going to swim back to do the waterfall and Zora checks, or he might swim up to Ice Rod Cave, which is a little bit faster than walking there is.
Looks like it's going to be maybe a flute to Ice Rod Cave. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I may have forgotten there's a flute for a moment. Also, yeah, one of our people in chat pointing out that the ferry in the Ice Palace Light World location sells bomb and arrow upgrades that completely refill you. So being at 1 bomb, you have that choice where you could dip in there, grab one of those upgrades for 100 rupees, and be up to a full 15 bombs. Oh no, it's a cave.
There's one piece of our Agate Tower package.
Yeah, we're 2/3 of the way there. If we find a sword, it's going to be pretty heavily implied we're doing Aghanim today. Gem is heading up to the waterfall, gonna go walk over to Zora afterwards. He's got plenty enough money, he's got the flippers, he can do all the checks up here. Nice and straightforward all around.
And just trash. And yeah.
Depending on how you look at it, that's 15 individual things. That's not bad.
Alright, so Zora Ledge is a bust. Alright, chat, what do you think our favorite scamfish has for us today? It's gonna be an item. It's gonna be something that Link could pick up.
I'm gonna bet on our sword. Nothing so sad to see. So at this point, Roonespism has one extra little area checked, which is the Uncle area. We know there was nothing there. They're basically even when you account for that, so everything so far has been pretty following each other around.
Alright, so Gem, you don't have bomb. Yeah, so Gem's gonna go buy some bombs. And I think Rooney's gonna follow in Gem's footsteps.
Yep, having 5 bombs, he'll save a moment, being able to just walk right up to Sasrala. If you're going to Saha, if I recall correctly, it's actually a little bit faster to walk there than it would be to flute to 5 and have to walk over to his HUD. They enter Sahasral's hut at nearly the same time. Both toss their bomb to the back. Rooney checks the green pendant and finds that it is T-Rock.
T-Rock. We also got ourselves a sword and ether medallion out of the back of Sasha's closet.
Now the sword is interesting because Roonespism skipped Ice Rod Cave. He does not have the cape. So Gem may choose to go to Aghanim before Rooney, take a little bit more of a risk on it since it's open to him. Whereas Roonespism might end up clearing out a higher percentage of stuff before going there.
I think Gem really wants at least some assurances that this egg is going to be required before making the plunge. Which is probably why he's coming this way.
Yeah, on the flip side, I don't see him diving into Eastern before jumping into Aga if it gets to the end of Death Mountain here and the end of Escape and he doesn't have anything. Old man had nothing. We got a big key in the first chest of Eastern. We're all around pretty much nothing right now.
Yeah, it's going just... Alright, what?
Hole.
What is in here? Oh, it's just a heart. Probably go grab it anyway.
Oh, that's a hookshot in Eastern Palace, which is part of that Aghanim starter kit that we've kind of been on a trail of.
That grants access to Paradox Cave, doesn't it?
It does. On the Death Mountain front, it's Paradox Cave and Super Bunny Cave. If it does end up being Aghanim, that is full Western Dark World access as well. We had accidental spawn of a third skeleton there. Unfortunate, but minor time taken up on by it.
Alright. So, Rooney is getting out of there.
I'm not sure why he left there. He got...
Yeah. There's still one item left.
I want to say.
Yeah, he only found 2 items. He's probably just hedging his bets that the third item is nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of bold to not go get that last item, because now when you come back, you're either gonna have to do it or gamble that it's nothing. You know, you're getting. He has a lot of items. Really, he does have all of East Death Mountain to go, so I get it. He's got a lot of choices, but while you're already there, I'm not sure if I agree with dipping out like that. It's a big risk. Let's put it that way.
Alright. Gem's giving us a look at the front part of Escape. Probably give us also a look at the back. Assuming the key layout is...
I was going to say, he doesn't have the key, so unless it's in Dark Cross, he won't be able to get to the back. These cabbages were doing a number on Roonespism over here, but he's made it up the mountain. Gem finds a heart container, he sees that blue mail on top, and is going to check the Spectacle Rock Cave, so he probably will not be picking up that heart container.
But we are going to press forward on both sides here. Rooney going to capitalize on that hook shot.
Yeah, and this could be a big moment in this race if Gem Death Warps out of here, goes and does Aghanim, and there is, you know, a glove and a hammer over here on East Death Mountain, that could be a huge game-changing moment. Rip. Accidentally got his health filled back up, so he's just going to save and quit and walk back to the castle. The walk of shame.
Nobody's ever done that ever.
No, never. Not at all.
Never a thing that happens. It's the first time.
Okay, we're in the bulk area of Paradox Cave. We get $50. We get 10 arrows. Nothing of interest so far. There is
Ooh.
boots.
Things you can wear on your feet.
Okay, so boots don't help at all in terms of progression, but they sure help in terms of this run being fun.
Hey, boots start open. It's popular for a reason.
Gem is getting close to this dark cross chest. This is his one chance to find the key. If it's not here, he's not going to be able to do the back right now. And that's a big 20.
So, the back half of escape is, in fact, that is glove locked. Lot.
But he saves and quits out there. He's not going to be walking right back to the castle. He did save and quit to the mountain. We'll see where he's going to flute to.
Alright, so Rooney, there is one check that those boots open, and that's Bonk Rock. I think we're going to see a Bonk Rocks check. There's Bombos on the ledge there.
That's 2 of 3 medallions accounted for. Those are nice to get tracked down early to take the odds of pedestal ones being gone. Just a heart piece and Bonk Rock. So the boots are nothing but a convenience and movement upgrade. That mirror is very nice though.
That mirror is nice. We'll have to see if Rooney makes his way over there. But I think we're going to be seeing the same Hyrule Castle checks.
Yeah, and Gem is going back up the mountain. He now, with that mirror, can get into Tower of Hera with the lamp, and the sword can full clear it. So he's going to be trying to take all that out.
So, like, if you're like in one of these runners' positions here, like as a runner, at what point, just like based on like one knowledge of one player or the other, at what point do you decide to pull that trigger and just do Ego 1? Like, when do you decide to do that? Like, you don't have either glove. You're still missing 2 items required for Dark World access. And I think I saw like Red Crystal at Mire, and I think I missed the rest of it.
Yeah, Mire and Thieves found red crystals with pendants in Skullwoods, T-Rock, and Pod.
Alright.
But in my opinion, for Gem, he's got that cape. He, I think, was already planning to do Aghanim when he was in Dark Cross, but because he didn't want to take the time for the Death Warp, just backed out of it. Roonespism still hasn't been to Ice Rod Cave and gotten that cape, so he's not really in a position to even be considering it right now, because he doesn't have access. We are getting the trip to the Tower of Hera basement, everyone's favorite place on Earth. I am a little bit disappointed to see that neither of these 2 runners took the chance to sequence break the back of Escape, because I always love seeing that in seeds that are real light on items, taking that key from the first guard and then going through Dark Cross to the back, so that if it's glove locked, you can get the items there out of sequence. Answering a question in chat real quick, the pot is carried to throw at that last tile to break it a little bit quicker. As long as you're walking up against that bottom wall, you are moving normal speed. So you grab it, you just kind of carry it around with you while you wait for the tiles to go, and then you throw it to the last tile and the door opens just a little bit quicker.
Alright. Gem claims the big key out of the fire-locked basement of Hera. Gonna make his way through Tower Hera. This will probably be our first crystal dungeon in the game, won't it?
Seems likely. And Roonespism just got his cape. He can now be thinking Aga. We'll see if he goes to Agina first or not. there are definitely reasons to want that mirror right away, and he's going for it.
Gets the intel on that Bombos.
Jim, not feeling confident with that bumper skip, decides to walk around. The much better option than just going for it anyway and getting knocked down in the hole, which I definitely don't do on a routine basis. No, never.
Nope. Never happens. You always get it the first shot.
We get a nice little vanilla-esque Moldorm fight.
Yeah. Along with the fall and everything. It's Moldorm be Moldorm.
I'm not gonna lie though, just virtue of not having the boots actually adds a good deal to the difficulty with Moldorm, just because you can't dash through them.
Yeah, it's worse than a vanilla Moldorm fight.
Ooh, second fall for Jen. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, this will give Rooney some time to catch up.
I don't know. I think at this point they're pretty much dead, even if not Rooney a little bit ahead. Just because he's already done East Death Mountain, he's already got those boots. That's a sizable amount of time that Jem's gonna have to commit later to get those same things.
Yeah, and the same with that hook shot. Because Rooney's gonna end up being forced at some point to probably go to Ice Rod Cave, and it looks like we're getting a Herapod out of Rooney. Looks like he can bail on it though.
Yeah, gave enough time to see if he could get the lineup right. Didn't feel like it was quite there, and just realized that he should move on and not waste time messing it up.
Yeah, it's one of those things where sometimes with tricks you have to be careful, right? Because you could end up spending more time trying to get the trick than you would have saved by actually getting it. Like the first try, and then you feel like you get the sunk costs going on, right? So it's a trap that you have to avoid.
Ooh, and chat bringing up a good point that Roonespism only has one bomb, so you might have dipped out so that he can preserve that bomb, since you skip over a couple of bomb pots by using Herapod.
It's true. Alright. I think Gem is going to go ahead and claim his hook shot, though. And maybe we'll get a look at that vanilla big key chest.
Yep, and one way or the other, he's going to be very happy to find those boots in Paradox Cave. The bright side for Gem there is the extra trip up Death Mountain to get the stuff from Hera isn't really that damaging to him, because you got to go back down to the bottom of the mountain to go over to East Death Mountain anyway with the hook shot. So it's kind of maybe a little bit of a time loss, but not major over just having it immediately. Either way, both these runners are finishing up the last things they really have to do before Aghanim. Once Roonespism is done here in Hera, he is out of stuff to do, and Jim will have East Death Mountain once he's done in Eastern.
So, while we're seeing each other retrace each other's steps, this is game 2 in this series between Jen and Roonespism. Jem had won game 1. Rooney decided to choose fast Ganon as the goal versus defeat Ganon, which means we won't be going into Ganon's tower unless something really unfortunate happens.
You know, that made me think, how would you feel if you were making the choice to do fast Ganon for the sake of taking GT out of the picture, and then 3 swords were upstairs GT?
That would be quite unfortunate.
I can only imagine how upset you would be. Like, but I chose just to avoid this. No.
Well, I guess RNG is RNG.
And we are getting this last check from Gem. If this is something important, this could be pretty unfortunate for Roonespism. I'm guessing that the reason he skipped this was a gamble of he knows Gem's play level, he knows how good Gem is, and he wanted to try to take a risk to save some time. But if this is important, it could really bite him. It's nice.
It's probably... Rooney will probably grab that at some point. At least we know that we're not going to be forced into Ganon's tower now.
Yeah, and it's going to take him a little bit of extra time in Aga Tower going through with Fighter Sword. He doesn't really have any other weapon to kill stuff with. So the Master Sword is going to definitely save Gem time. It's going to save him time on bosses if we don't find one elsewhere. But it's not a game-changing item find. It's just nice to have. And we find out that our stun prize is hearts, which is actually fantastic.
Probably played enough expert item pool games to probably begin to appreciate getting hearts.
Also, I want to take a brief moment to point out, when Roonespism was lining up for that key dash there, he walked down from the chest to the wall. Roonespism, if you're watching this back, anyone watching who does the same, any item on the ground is lined up in a key dash line. So as soon as you open that chest, as long as you're pressed up against it, just walk left and dash up, and you'll get that key dash. You don't have to line up with the wall. So Gem gonna go do his spiral cave. You know, you get boots right before it, so it makes it a lot less disappointing. And then he's going to be headed to Aga Tower as well because he'll have literally nothing else to do.
So what outstanding overworld checks does Rooney have over Gem?
Nothing, as far as
Nothing?
I'm aware. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
they both full cleared. Rooney saved a little bit of time from getting the boots earlier and saving a trip up Death Mountain, but
It's like, yeah, the only thing that Rooney really skipped was that big key chest in Eastern.
and Gem now going to check Bonkrox is going to be sorely disappointed that it still doesn't tell him that Aghanim is not required. I've been in these seeds before where you just keep going like, come on, one more try, let me get this.
Alright, yeah, Gem is
So how do you think both of these two feel, having literally full cleared the light world before doing Aghanim?
that if my opponent decided to pull the Yarn Aga, that I'm losing right now?
Yeah, pretty much. And I think of the two of these two, I'm guessing that feeling is hitting Gem more. Between the hookshot and Eastern leading to the boots, and knowing that, you know, his opponent is down one, he's more likely to gamble to try to get a lead. I think Gem's probably feeling a little bit more heat from the late Aga play than Roonespism is.
So question in chat, why does Gem have Master? So Roonespism, I think that's how you pronounce. Rooney's name. Rune, yeah. Decided to do Eastern Palace, but only got 2 items, whereas Gem got all 3, and that third one was a progressive sword upgrade.
I did not count blue balls, but that wasn't too bad.
No, it looked like maybe 2 or 3. Chow will probably keep us honest on that one. Alright. So... Alright, so... Feels hook shot across the river.
Looks like Rooney is going to go to Pod right away. And not a play I disagree with. You know, you've got that West Dark World starter pack with the flippers and the hookshot. But Pod's right here. It's a pendant, which I'm thinking he's just finding out now. But you might not have to clear it. You might be able to get everything out of here without having the bow and not having to ever come back.
Is Roonespism, does he mimic clip?
I have no idea. I'm trying to think if the third bottle was full. I know we had the fairy he already used. We had the bee that doesn't help.
Oh, that was a nice hook speed out of Gem. Got a little further than you normally would. And still got to maintain your speed, but you have to then tap A before you can actually slash the curtains.
Yeah, unfortunately, all the time he saved was given right back, grabbing a hold of the wall. And we get Big Key in the first chest, so that's going to be it for Pod.
Yeah, he's probably to take that as a sign of, this isn't for me yet.
Now, I am going to classify what's going on here as a bit of a mistake on Roonespism's part, in that he is walking out of the Pod area. With Aghanim dead and the mirror in the inventory, he could just save and quit to get right back to the pyramid, which would be significantly faster than walking all the way back out of Pod.
I mean, how often do you get trapped in a situation like this, though?
Yeah, it's definitely not a common thing, and it's not something I hold against anyone for not thinking of in the moment. Oh, he's gonna mirror and... No? Where's he swimming to?
What are you doing?
Maybe...
Catfish? Maybe it's like maybe he thinks it's a faster way to get to,
Oh, he's going for Hylia Island. I don't think he checked this earlier.
Yeah, because I think we got that scouted, and I think it was true. Alright. Yeah, it was nice to have. Then, potentially, you could swim south, take the warp point, and then kind of get back to where you need to do in order to do catfish, but I think in this case he's gonna go ahead and do it this way. At least if I'm remembering my overworld correctly in the Dark World.
I don't believe there's any useful whirlpool down there in the Dark World.
Oh, okay.
And comes up here, sees the rock and the hammer, and goes, "All right, I don't have either of those. I need to swim."
Yep. Yeah, flippers and hookshot were the logical access.
Gem, meanwhile, has pulled a little bit ahead in checks for the first time in a while. He gets 20 bucks out of King's Tomb. Roonespism is coming around here and going to be following right in his trail just behind him. To answer a question in chat, under the current settings, all crystals are required to kill Ganon. He will be invincible until you have all 7 crystals. There are settings, such as one option that can be enabled, where you can have less crystals required for Ganon invulnerability, but this one's going to require all 7. You just don't have to do GT.
there is an option available to players for the losing player of the previous game to change a setting. In this case, they're using fast Ganon, but the other options are you can use a assured sword instead of randomized. You can set the world state to standard. You can actually set the Ganon tower requirement and Ganon's vulnerability to 6 and 6 instead of 7 and 7. Those are kind of paired together. Like you have to set both to 6 and 6 or 7 and 7. You can't mix and match. And last option is I'm an administrator of this tournament. I should remember. All right, kid, all 5.
Yeah, I think
There's
you got
5.
everything.
I got everything. Okay.
Oh, MC Shuffle. That's right. We both missed that one.
Yeah. I mean, that's what 5 a.m. does to you. I mean, these are like normal hours for you. But,
yeah, pretty much.
All right. So Gem is working his way through Skull Woods. I actually completely missed Bumper Cave Ledge, but they're skipping it, so it must have been trash.
Yeah, it was 3 bombs. And Gem coming here and grabbing that key out of that pot, which is actually unnecessary. There is no way if you check that middle chest and the chest in the first door entrance of Skull Woods, that if you drop down the hole, you wouldn't be able to find a key for getting out of Pinball Room, because there are 3 keys and only 2 other spots that could have them. So he could have just dropped down the hole and come and grab those the way that people used to do all the time before Pinball Room was randomized. And he would have been guaranteed to find the key he was looking for. Right side of this route is he got a mirror right back here.
Yeah, that speeds things up a little bit, and yeah, Gem's gonna be done with Skull Woods. Whereas on Rooney's side, Rooney decided to go straight into Thieves Town. It's one of our 5-6 crystals.
Yeah, Thieves Town without the hammer is always a risk, because if there's an important item in the big chest, you don't have a way to get it. But he did get a Master Sword that we didn't mention over here. I believe it was in Thieves Town, if I saw correctly. I was a little bit tied up. Oh no, Thieves Town, according to chat. I was a little bit tied up watching the Skull Woods maneuvering of Gem when it popped up.
I still think the odds are high that Roonespism is gonna find is gonna get that tempered sword in Eastern then. Assuming that, especially if Bo shows up soon.
Oh wow, he got God Pixel and didn't do it the more reliable way to get the lineup. That's rough to do. By the way, Gem now in Thieves Town will be getting his tempered sword here. We're gonna go blow a hole in the ceiling so that Blind has to see the light later, which, you know, makes 0 sense, but video game.
So to answer a question chat for did Gem skip an item? So Gem did scout out the blue cane, which was on Lake Hylia Island, and is probably purposefully ignoring it right now.
I think they're actually speaking of the Skull Woods check. I do believe he only found 1 item in there. He got the big key, but didn't go to the big chest before leaving.
Oh. I didn't... Oh, so they did get the big key. I thought they didn't, so...
And Roonespism trying to pick up that big rock, realizing, wait, I don't have gloves. You just have to kill all the enemies. That door on the left will open up. It's the way the developers clearly intended this room to work in vanilla, judging by the new style of block that's clearly massive. but they then programmed it to be lifted by the level 1 power gloves, which kind of defeated the purpose of that room.
I hear that's fixing the GBA port.
It is
Nobody would
fixing
know
the
that.
GBA port.
Nobody would know that because nobody plays that, right?
I have played it. Back in the day when you needed some way to bring video games with you. Hey, GBA.
Yeah, there you go. So, fortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to have to go back into Thieves Town at all. That small key is locked in the big chest.
Yep, and there would be some logic shenanigans you could try to reason out with that, because the small key locks the attic chest and the boss behind Hammer, but I don't think that's relevant at all, because I believe we already have all 4 items. The attic was just a compass, so it doesn't really mean anything. Line very off script. It gets very chaotic if you don't keep to the script, but Roonespism handles it fine. It gets a blind down, and it picks up the map.
Alright, there's crystal number 2 of our match. Roonespism's in a pretty good state right now, I'd say. It's kind of down a sword, which Gem is going to take advantage of. But it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, and so far that sword hasn't really mattered much. In Thieves Town, it's an extra swing on that red Zazak. But, you know, blind is killed by 9 hits no matter the weapon. So it doesn't matter what sword you have here. It doesn't matter until later.
Yeah, so Gem is keeping to the script. Kind of doing it in style, too. And there goes blind. Gonna claim the map and the crystal. Call it a day.
And Rooney wanted to go check Skull Woods, but has forgotten the path you need to take for gloveless Skull Woods at the moment. Looks like he's headed the correct way to do so now. You're going to go up through this entrance, but he ended up going to both the entrances that require a glove before getting here, unfortunately.
I just want to point out the fact that we're like 45 minutes in this match, and we don't have gloves.
Yeah, it's very hard to not forget that you don't have gloves this far into a scene. It's not normal.
Alright. Digging game. What you got for us?
It's got a whole lot of digs, I know that much. And 10 bombs to wrap it up. Oh, such a joy.
I mean, basically, Gem has given us the full Dark World loop right now. It's like,
Okay, so here's a question for you.
yeah.
You're in either of these runners' positions, and you go down to Hype Cave. You don't have Hammer yet. Do you drain Swamp and go check that first chest, or do you skip it and leave it behind?
Ooh. Assuming that Hype Cave has no progression, I'd be kind of desperate for stuff at that point, and I would go for it. I would definitely check Hype Cave first, though.
Yeah, Hype Cave 100% first. I know some people are very staunchly in favor of
no gloves.
It takes forever to get back to Swamp. No gloves indeed.
Oh my. Yeah, this is just not a situation you're normally in. Like, you've got a glove at this point, and what's keeping you from full dark, like, keeping you from having free Darkhold access is Hammer or Titans.
Yeah, like, there's still every piece of the puzzle away from having Darkhold access outside of Aga.
And there's $300, not what we're looking for here. Piece of heart?
A bow. So I guess we're going to Pod. Hey, guys.
Guess what? It's, yeah, I think Yeah. No.
Gem-
Yeah. No. No, no hammer. Is he
Gem-
gonna do it? He's gonna
Gem
do
was
it.
uncertain. He's going to swamp.
Yes. The hammerless swamp play. Here we go.
So I'm a proponent of this move, honestly,
Yeah.
because swamp is so slow to go back to, and if hammer is there, you're going to last location it, and it's going to be real slow to do so.
Yeah. Wait. That.
And the big chest was a small key. That's unfortunate. Oh, I see why Gem skipped that chest now. It had to be a small key. The chest under the bridge and that were the two remaining small keys. He only found one. So that means that
Okay.
Mothula has to have item number 2.
Alright, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel silly for not catching that at the time, but I didn't catch that there was only the one key drop there.
And insult to injury. Yeah, it looks like Pod is Pod's the play. This is now this is Gem's in the driver's seat now.
Yep, Roonespism is going to be following close behind. He's got the digging game to do, Stumpy and Cave 45 to check before Hype Cave. But yeah, we're going to be headed back over to Pod. Roonespism had the right idea. It's unfortunate that that fairy got used up right at the start, because he could have used that to sequence break the right side and keep going when he got to Pod after agging him.
So, Mentos Man, you've played a lot of ALTTPR. What's the longest running time you've gone without a glove upgrade that you can remember?
I want to say I've had at least one that was over an hour, but we're talking hundreds of seeds. I've had one
Exactly.
that long, and this is real close to it.
Yeah, this is a very crazy. Yeah, so Willard's guessing Eastern has been cleared of items. Yeah, we know all 3 items in Eastern. Rooney skipped the sword out of the big key chest. But yeah, we know all 3 items. One of them was the hook shot.
Jim, seeing the big key, is probably thinking, well, I'm glad I went to Hype Cave before.
Yeah, this is all bow locked.
Now, mind you, I know that Gem can mimic clip. It's just significantly faster to just kill things with the bow than it is to mimic clip them.
And it's also good to know that this is all in logic now, especially since this is a pendant. The game is kind of expecting you to be here.
Yeah, that does make it a little bit more enticing of an offer.
Yeah. And Gem is also pretty certain that was the bow that we found in Hype Cave is going to be the one that was in log.
Right side of Pod has a small key and the hammer. We finally get something.
Well, there we go. Yeah, so Gem is like contemplating, man, all right, so no gloves, we have hammer now.
Now, worth noting, everything else in the front is going to be a small key. Both the Stalfos drop chest and the vanilla big key chest. These hard hat beetles given Gem one heck of a time. But also that arena ledge there, he doesn't need to check any of them because they're all small keys.
Yeah, this is kind of like a scenario where your knowledge of the pod key logic can really pay off. Just being able to avoid opening unnecessary chests.
Yep, and now if he finds one more key down here, then Harmless Hellway has an item. If he doesn't, then it is a key itself.
Yeah. Roonespism is also going to take this dive into Swamp.
Yeah, I think it's a very reasonable thing to do. Now, Gem is going to have to hammer jump if he wants to be able to walk in the front door of Pod when he goes to go back into the back. If he needs to go back in for Helmasaur at all. But he's going to take the risk and lock himself from the from the back for now. If Helmosaur has an item and he wants to get it, it's going to take him a lot longer that way. And with that map, Helmosaur does have an item, so that could be relevant.
And wow, we have our proper Dark World access now.
Only 52 minutes in, we get our first glove here in the Dark Maze, and Kana Samaria in the big chest.
Man, what a loaded Palace of Darkness.
I'm not gonna lie, I would have gone back in for Helmosaur for that fourth item. Just with how loaded Pod was, I would have gone back for that last item. By the way, though, he's gonna flip over here to Eastern. He's gonna go kill Armos. He's got nothing that's gonna be concerning except for that one heart, but it's Eastern Palace, and you have Blue Mail. You're not gonna die here.
Chad's telling us that Gem got everything.
I believe I saw both Map and Compass. I could be wrong. Yeah, Compass was Dark U Maze, Map was Dark Maze. So yeah, Helmosaur's got an item.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But, okay, Illis did mean what I kind of thought he did there, and then all the relevant items, you know, there's just nothing relevant on Helmosaur. You assume it's nothing.
Yeah. Well, it'll probably be a while until we see Gem go back, if he has to go back.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Roonespism makes that same choice to skip Helmosaur, if he goes all out on it. I mean, he skipped that big key chest in Eastern earlier. Maybe he's gonna be kind of skippy on things. It's hard to tell. Way off script for the Armos fight. Still not really a threat, just a bunch of extra arrows and a lot longer fight.
Alright. And which crystal number 3?
Number 3 indeed. And Roonespism, unfortunately, a little bit less aware of what the key logic of the front of Pod is, ended up clearing out the chests that were guaranteed keys. It does mean that he's not going to have to worry about, you know, doing the same thing Gem might have forced himself into, but it is some free time he gave to Gem by just a matter of Gem being fully aware of how that logic works out. People at home, don't let anyone ever tell you that knowing key logic is unimportant, because we can see here the pretty clear example of how it can come to help you in a race situation.
Yeah, that saved Gem, I'd say at least like a couple minutes easily. Just like for free, like a minute or two.
But now we're off to Swamp, the dungeon that loves to have the glove when you don't have one late, so I'm expecting Titansmith to drop in here. You know, that's completely confirmation bias, but, you know.
I mean, like, I can't refute it. At least not right now. I have to go generate a bunch of spoiler alerts first. I think somebody did like an analysis of the chance is pretty decent for this dungeon to have at least a progressive glove in it.
Yeah, it makes sense just because it's one of the few dungeons in the Dark World that doesn't require a glove at all. But there's like 6 items in here, right? Which certainly helps the situation. Absolutely. Now, Roonespism has gotten his Canis Mar, and he is also leaving Helmosaur behind. So if there is something there, when they come back, he's going to get to it a little bit quicker, but they're both going to have to come back if it's something important.
Yeah, at least he's going to probably get his tempered sword. He's not going to leave that big key chest behind unless he forgot about it.
I really hope he doesn't, because the difference between Master and Temper Sword is major. Oh, there's Fire Rod.
It's a nice pick.
Okay, so we obviously don't know the Meyer medallion yet, but if it is Bombos or Ether, we are Titan's Mitt away from Go mode. How unusual is that?
That'd be pretty amusing.
And he is going to just skip the vanilla big key chest, so he is going to be stuck on Master Sword for now at least.
Maybe he's banking that that Armos has the item.
Well, he'll get tempered in Swamp, so he'll be fine.
Okay. That makes me feel a little bit better. See, he Galaxy brained it, didn't even know it.
That being said, there are two options. Either A, he miscounted items in Eastern, thought he got all three, or B, he might just be gambling that it's on the boss, and like I said earlier, just kind of trying to assume that it's not important as a way to try to gain some time on Gem. Argus fight going on, Gem going with some pokes, gets him down pretty quick, not a 0 cycle, but gets the 1 cycle, just has to do the easy part now.
Fire spin to win. There goes down Argus and Armos Knights for both Gem and Roonespism.
I'm assuming Gem is going to go back in for left side swamp. There's at least one item over there, and I mean, Fire Rod opens up that item on Moth, but then you're just stuck.
It's contemplating it. Alright, yeah.
Yeah, he gave very strong consideration to leaving that behind. It was like, nah, there's not enough left.
Yeah. Left side swamp and the big chest are unopened.
Yeah, and outside of swamp, we have Catfish available now, since we got that glove. We could go do Catfish. We've got, what's it called? We've got, that item on Mothula and left side swamp, and the item on Helmasaur.
It's like Rooney's also making the same play into swamp. It's really the place you have to go at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. And I did forget that Gem got the book in Swamp as well, so he does have Desert Palace available as well.
That makes Bombos available, even though it's kind of not relevant to us right now, access-wise.
Yeah, it might be important, but at least now when Gem leaves here, he can go do Bombos Tablet. If he doesn't get anything important on left side swamp, do Bombos Tablet, and then drop down and go to Desert from there.
So, does this mean that we're a Titan's Mitts away from Go mode unless Misery Mire requires Quake?
If it's not a normal Go mode kid, you don't see mids for Go mode often at all, but it's one you like to see because they lock a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Want to dip Ice Palace? Too bad. Want to dip Mire? Too bad. Want to dip T-Rock? Too bad. big key and a hard piece on the left side of the swamp. He's going to go grab the big chest and then move on one way or the other. Incidentally, if Meyer is not Quake, this also means that T-Rock is 100% empty, which is not super common.
Alright, where are our mitts? I guess we're gonna get probably a check of this tablet.
I am really pulling for mitts on Helmosaur just because I think it would be really funny.
Oh no, we'll be here for like another 30 minutes then. Despite this being fast cannon.
That's actually the kind of funny part. Even if it is a last location mitts for them, mitts lock so much that's not gonna take them super long. They're just gonna They're just gonna get there. Now, see, chat's just rude, because they're hoping for the remaining medallion in TR. Presumably, they're hoping that's required. That's just rude.
And then watch it's like on pedestal or something, and then we're here for another hour. Even though running the gamut on the rest of the pendant dungeons wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, and you can always go to Skull Woods and clear that out after Desert here, and check pedestal just to be sure if you really want to. Without mitts to check Meyer, though, it's kind of hard to tell if you should even bother.
Exactly. That's really like the wild card right now. That medallion requirement for Meyer.
Nothing of note so far within Desert, just, you know, the essentials. So item 1 on the big chest, item 2 on the land molus. Item 1 is a piece of heart. Hooray!
It's a full heal.
I'm sure Jem's very happy for that full heal before going to fight the dreaded land molus. Mind you, that's land molus with butter sword and fire rod, so that's a very particular type of Lambo.
Spin to win. Not even a spin to win, it would just be a slash to win.
And as the seed has completely railroaded these two, Roonespism going right to Desert as well, there wasn't really anything else that he could do that wasn't an awful option. Yeah, chat talking a little bit about it, so I will mention along the same lines that this is definitely not the kind of seed you want to see in Roonespism's position. We talked a little bit early about how Gem's execution is very good, and Fast Cannon, you know, removes GT, which is one big extended chunk of execution. But this seed has been so linear, the whole seed is just one extended chunk of execution. So he's gonna have to kind of hope that Quake is required for Meyer, and it's a pain to get to.
Oh, there's our mitts.
Yep, so that could be go mode. Gem and pulls out Flute. He is going to immediately Flute to 6 and check that Meyer medallion. If it is Bombos or Ether, we are in go mode. If it is Quake, we cry.
Right. Are we going on a Quake Rod hunt? Or are we in go mode? Oh boy, alright. We got ourselves a Quake Rod.
So I'd say if that had been Ether or Bombos, I would say that Roonespism would be almost certainly at a loss here. But with it being Quake, he has the opportunity to gamble a bit. The world's open. There are a lot of checks that just opened up with those mids. He has a chance to make some plays that can save him some time and catch him back up.
Alright, is it under the doorstep? No.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for an adventure? Because we're headed to Ice Palace, right out the gate. This is pretty straightforward for Gem. It is his only crystal left that can be full cleared. He could go back to Skullwoods for that item on Moth, but it's a pendant. He could go kill a Helmasaur, but it's a pendant. He could go to T-Rock, but it's a pendant.
There's really no good options. Like, I mean, you can do Ice Palace, get that out of the way, but then...
Yeah, other than that, he did
Pretty
unlock
much.
quite a bit. He got the Smith Chain, he got Hammer Pegs, he's got the east side of Dark Death Mountain now. He hasn't been to Spike Cave yet. There are definitely options, but you got a Crystal Dungeon to full clear. Clear the Crystal Dungeon.
The world's his oyster, except Misery Mire.
If you're Gem and soon to be Rooney here, how do you feel when you see that Quake medallion on Mire?
Like, I probably should just roll a true Ice Rod hunt.
So
Felt about the same.
So kind of, I said the same earlier with one of the other things that came up here, but I feel like the Quake on Mire is going to be more of a motivating factor for Roonespism than a negative. You know, yeah, you got to go find it, but I think he knows as well as we do that Gem out-executes him, and this seed has been so linear, he can be very confident that Gem has a lead right now. So finding out this is Quake and there's a bunch of stuff left, gamble your heart out, might be a positive for him.
Yeah. And also, like, Rooney knows that because he chose Fast Scanning, it's not like he has to worry about getting out-executed in GT. So he has that going for him.
Either way, we're getting close to, you know, some of the valuable stuff in Ice Palace. Gem taking a fall there just to get some iframes and get the Baris out of the way. And now we got 3 quick checks coming up. That was very nearly a mirror bonk there, but got in right on the edge.
And
That's our second item.
It's the boss heart container.
And we've got Divergence, which is what Roonespism needs. He gets deadrocked and says, you know what, I'm going to go buy a potion while I wait for this deadrock.
I mean, dead rocks will do that to you. Whoa, no empty bottles, bucko. There you go.
And presumably right back to Death Mountain. I assume once he clears it out, if he doesn't have Quake yet, he's going to Oh no, he's going to Ice Palace now. That's unfortunate for him. He had a chance to gain a lot of time here, and because of that dead rock, he changed his mind and went to Ice Palace.
I mean, I don't blame him. Like, this is crystals before anything else, right? Like, it would take a lot for you to decide to kind of break that strategy. Oh, did we ever see the back of Escape?
We have not seen the back of Escape. No.
There's 2 items there, so we know one of them has to be a small key. And we saw a map.
Yeah, so,
Oh boy.
Quake and back of Escape for the lull. And to top it off, you know, they got Flute, they got Mirror, they can save and quit to the Pyramid in the Dark World if they want to go back to the front of Escape. But save and quit to Sanctuary is not a common thing at this point in the race. So Gem's gonna mirror.
This is truly an Ice Rod hunt.
Yeah, basically. Until we find the Ice Rod and we find out that Quake's on pedestal, and hey, we had a double Ice Rod hunt.
That's even better than an Ice Rod hunt.
Reminds me of Espeon Seed with the, what was it, 67 Ice Rods?
Oh, that was pretty amazing.
Probably my favorite use of the customizer I have seen so far.
You can do some really dumb things with the customizer. It's great.
So Gem coming up the long way around Death Mountain, so you can check Ether Tablet.
So, our gloves were what, at 52 minutes? Was our first glove? And we didn't get mitts until about an hour.
And we were so happy thinking that, you know, hey, it's go mode. And then it wasn't go mode.
Yeah. And then we were all sad. But we're happy for Rooney.
Yeah, definitely at least gave him an opportunity. They did check King's Tomb to answer chat. They did mirror over on their way to West Dark World and check King's Tomb, both of them.
We're gonna get a Turtle Rock check, huh? Is he gonna go in? I bet you Gem will go in.
He's gonna do Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave. If he doesn't find Quake by then, King Rock is definitely the best play he's got available. Also, at this point, we are an Ice Rod away from that pedestal option being in logic. Some bombs.
Nope.
Easy hard. Quake! That is go mode for Gem at 1:15:33.
Alright, Gem is gonna get out of here. He's in a go mode mire. And then kill a pig. And you know the good news about this, right? So the cool thing is that we defeated Aga 2 or Aga 1, right? So when we're ready to defeat Ganon, all he has to do is save and quit. He's right at the pyramid.
Yeah, that is one of the fantastic side effects of how this seed played out. It is very unfortunate for Roonespism here. He was on the right path. He was heading up Death Mountain. That dead rock got in front of him and blocked him. You know, with where Gem's at, with the lead he's got right now, I don't think it would have been enough to completely overthrow things, but it would have left him in a much better position than having gone through Ice Palace in non-go mode. If you ever needed another reason to hate dead rocks, congratulations, you found it.
I mean, nobody needs reasons. We already have them.
And chat does point out that he did not full clear Ice Palace. He did skip some stuff in there, which is very true. He didn't full clear, so it was less time lost than it could have been. But it's still kind of an unfortunate thing just because you can go into Ice Palace knowing I'm just going right to the boss.
Alright, so Rooney. So Rooney's going to have his quick med.
He'll get Quake soon. He'll also just have Meyer left. All things considered, this race isn't a major time difference. With how linear everything was, the difference pretty much solely comes down to execution. And a side effect of Gem did get that extra sword early, and Rooney eventually got tempered, but having it earlier did help Gem through some of those earlier checks before Swamp. No sign of the big key yet. It's either in the cutscene chest or in the chest next to the big chest. Gem is hoping for the latter. And Rooney getting hit by the Murder-Dactyl while waiting for the door to Meyer to open. Gem getting his big key exactly where he hoped it was. He'll be heading to Viddy. No silvers to make it, super fast. But with Butter and the bow, he should be able to make it just as fast if he doesn't make any mistakes with his quick kill.
Yeah, without having to do GT as well, this race was gonna be concluded here in probably just a few minutes. I don't think Gem would have too much time left, assuming that everything comes together and nothing bad happens, but you could.
Yeah, I mean, even with no silvers, Butter Sword Ganon is not a very long fight, to say the least. So we're likely going to see the NMG strats from Gem when he gets to Viddy. He's just going to charge up a spin, step in the acid, spin on the eyes, and then repeat until they're dead. And of course, once Vitreous is dead, we can have everyone's favorite guessing game of where the GT Big Key is, but nobody's gonna win because we're never gonna find out.
It's Shroud.
Gem fumbled it a little bit, didn't get the zero cycle, so Viddy did shoot one bolt of lightning, but he gets Viddy down, he gets his key, and he'll be going to Ganon.
Yeah, he's gonna save and quit right out of here and go straight to the pyramid. That's the one nice thing of having to kill Seed, I would say.
Yeah, and Chad asking if Gem is too far ahead. He'd need to take a couple of Ganon falls for Roonespism to have a chance. But this is going to be a very close race. All things considered, you can kind of see that Gem definitely has the pretty significant edge in execution. But Roonespism has kept pace with him on a pretty linear seed, which says a lot. His routing has been a little bit cleaner throughout. He's had a little bit less moments where he wasted some time going back to areas, and it's kind of kept him in play.
Alright. Ganon is in phase 3. So 4 slashes to get all those pesky tiles out of the way. Those tiles definitely didn't cause them any problems at SG Live.
Don't think I caught whatever you're referencing, and now I'm disappointed by it.
Oh, did you watch the finals of Speed Gaming Live?
I did not. I was very busy with work while that was going on, so I missed most of that tournament.
I'm gonna say nothing then. Watch that match.
Noted. Meanwhile, for now, Gem is easily making work of Ganon on this Silverless fight here. Downside of having butter for Silverless Ganon is you have to be very careful not to poke him, because a poke is a Tempered Sword Slash and will stun him. Health getting a little bit low.
And there goes Ganon.
That is going to be a GG for Gem. He will be moving into the winner's half of the bracket for his group.
And Gem has finished this race with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 23 minutes, 6 seconds.
Yep, it was a very, very linear seed, very straightforward. And we are joined by Gem. He has come for an interview. How you doing? GG.
Hey, Gem.
Hey, thanks.
Just want to give you a little bit of heads up. I'm going to give Roonespism's Ganon fight a little bit of due diligence when he gets there, but figure we can chat a bit on his way through Vidi.
All right.
So what did you think of that seed?
Well, it was a seed. I don't know. It was nothing special, I guess, just a, Aga seed. And then you clear everything, only to find only the bow in West Dark World. Then you find out you should have just gone straight to Port.
It's
yeah.
This is a 52 minutes for first glove.
Yeah. That's pretty unusual, I guess.
Yeah. And then you had that Quake Rod hunt.
Yeah, thankfully it was
Not that
not
bad.
very hidden though. Just on DDM.
So I was a little bit worried when you went through Pod. You used up your key on the Dark Maze, so if you had to go back for Helmasaur for the item he had, you weren't going to be able to just go through the front door. It had me slightly concerned that was going to come back to bite you, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I was, at least at that point, I wasn't really planning to do Helmasaur for a pendant. Would have been my last occasion, so I didn't really care, I guess.
Yeah, I figured as much that you were just kind of already planning to go to Swamp. But there was just that, nagging commentator side of things like, Helmasaur has an item. This could be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been pretty bad, but good thing it didn't matter.
So can I ask a hypothetical?
Sure.
So let's say you would have lost this match. What would you have contemplated picking to change for Game 3 if you would have picked something?
Good question. I don't know.
Do you set it back to defeat Ganon? Pick something
Yeah,
else?
that's a pretty good one, I think.
Yeah.
That or, I don't know, just a short sword for fun.
Real quick on Rooney's side, he is in his Ganon fight. He's using the cape to get through phase 2 nice and easy. It's going to leave him a little bit magic starved for phase 4, but never mind, he's got a blue potion. So he's at this point through the, parts where you might die. Now he's in the part where you might fall down. is the 4 hits in phase 3 down. Going to get the torch glitch, always far more important when you don't have silvers.
All right, so TR did have our other bow. Okay.
That sounds about right. TR couldn't be entirely empty, could it? Ernie making very, very straightforward work again here so far, has not had any issues. He's not going for triples, just going for doubles. So it makes it pretty straightforward as long as you know how to dodge the fire bats. Getting consistent doubles is pretty simple to work through.
You're better off getting consistent doubles than trying for triples and missing them.
100%.
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way in NMG. You should be getting just about done here. Yep, that will do it.
All right, get your GGs in chat for Rooney.
And he finishes up at a time of 1:28.21. That will be a wrap for this match. So, Jem, I am curious. Were you I completely forgot what I was gonna say.
All right.
That was
I'll just say yes then. I
that
was.
works. But yeah, oh yeah, that's what it was gonna be. How do you feel about your upcoming match with Rambler?
Well, Rambler is pretty good. It's gonna be interesting, I think. Yeah. I don't know. Whoever gets luckier wins, right? That's how Rando works.
Very often. Also, we are joined by Roonespism. GG, how you doing about after that seed?
Yo, GG.
Hey, GG. I'm feeling alright. I made a couple of fairly big mistakes early on, but I think I managed to pull it back at least a little bit. And I don't know. I don't think I was expecting to win, really, but it was nice practice for some weird situations that can come up.
Yeah, you did quite well overall. You got tempered, and you got a sword upgrade a lot later than Gem by skipping the last item in Eastern Palace. That one kind of cost you some time, but overall, you kept pace pretty well.
Yeah. Let's see. I had, well, obviously the debacle at the start when I accidentally chose the wrong spot and had to quickly improvise an uncle route and die. But aside from that, let's see. Swimming for the Kana burner when I didn't need it, and also not taking a great route. I think those were my main mistakes. Lost like maybe a minute or two on those, and then who even knows where the other minutes went.
I will say we were all pretty disappointed. We saw you go up Death Mountain, plan to go to Dark Death Mountain. Dead Rock got in your way, and then you went to Ice, which is where Gem currently was at the time, and was looking like it wasn't going to have Quake. So we're like, oh, that was a good chance to catch up, and that Dead Rock just said, not today.
Yeah, thinking back on it, that was my one chance to make a big gamble and maybe try to add some variance back into the race. But yeah, when the Dead Rock got in my way, I looked at the tracker for just a split second and went, oh, I don't even have all the crystals I can get right now. What am I doing here?
I guess that's something I'd like to pose to both of you. When you're running these linear seeds like this and you get that major open up so late in the race, what's kind of the first thing on your mind when it comes to how to proceed from there?
Well, just do crystals first and then go for, I guess, density. like Death Mountain and Pendant Tiara, just a lot of items. So that's where I went next.
Yeah, I can't say I'm really doing anything too different from that. In this case, Aghanim opened up a lot, but you know, after Aghanim you kind of just have to go counterclockwise. And then once I found Golden Glove, yeah, it's just, oh, it opens up a couple of crystals, and then Dark Death Mountain has a whole bunch of stuff, so that might as well be next.
Yeah, all things considered, I think that was really the only point in the run where there was opportunity to do something different than each other. You were kind of both right on the same track the whole time because there was only one track.
Yeah, it didn't feel great going all the way around going all the way around the Dark World after Aghanim, knowing that I'd already made a couple of minutes of mistakes and like come up against someone whose execution is probably quite a fair bit better than mine. Just feeling pretty bad the entire way around.
Yeah, it was a little bit sad to find out that Pod was as low as it was. With you going right there out of Aghanim, you would have scored a major lead on Gem, I feel like, if you had been able to go farther in that dungeon and get the stuff out of there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Palace of Darkness was loaded, wasn't it? It was Hammer, Samaria, and something else?
A glove, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the time didn't think much of it, but then you guys end up back there, 20 minutes later, and hey, a hammer, hey, a glove, hey! We got everything right here in Pod.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wonder... I don't actually know any glitches that get you past the mimics, but there are legal ones, and they would have helped a lot in this seed, right?
Yeah, the easiest one is the bottle camera unlock. If you had a potion, you could have done it, or if you hadn't lost that fairy right away, you could have used that to do it. And then there's Mimic Clip, which is more difficult to pull off until you really know how it works, but also would have gotten you through that right side there.
Yeah. That could have been an interesting and risky thing to do. I wonder how that would have... Anyway, so what were you about to say?
I was just going to say, I know you're going up against Hexa in the next round, if I recall correctly. How do you feel about that matchup?
Let's just say a little bit better than this one. I believe I've raced Hacksaw a few times just in random dailies or whatever. I recognize the name. Well, yeah, okay. I don't know, hopefully I do good. I think I got a shot, maybe.
I wish you the best of luck on it. So, I don't think I've got anything else for either of you. Cymac, you got anything for either of them?
No. The best of luck in your next rounds. Thanks for the showcase and thanks for the match. Hey, it's like 5 a.m. for me right now, so I'm gonna go to bed. But I know that I know Gem, you're not sure about Rooney, but I know it's pretty late for some of us here, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, Sanek, you better rest up. You're playing Andy later, right?
Yeah. Oh no, it's probably entrance. I'm gonna go ahead and muddle around for a couple hours until Andy dones, and then probably fit. I predict that's how it's gonna go.
Good luck, dude. Though.
Thanks.
You can pull it off. It's the clown tourney after all.
It is true. It is true.
So yeah, I guess I'll ask if there's any last words from either of our two runners here.
Well, from my side, just the usual. Thanks for commentating. Thanks for tracking. Thanks for the restream. You guys are awesome, and keep it up.
Yeah, keep on keeping on. You're doing good out there, everyone.
So right back at you guys. Thank you guys for the show you put on. It was a fun race to watch. I want to throw it out there for chat, but if you haven't, you can give these runners both a follow. I know they both play quite a bit of this game. They are obviously pretty good. They both managed to finish the seed within 5 minutes of each other, and it was not a necessarily easy seed to follow along with. So it went pretty well. They both deserve a follow. Other than that, we got some more races coming up throughout the day.
So
Go ahead.
At 7:30, there is so there's Shady Force versus Ellis on Speed Gaming 2. That's at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then at 9:20 a.m. it's Lin Bonta. That'll be a good one to watch. Looks like that's not getting a restream. Actually, never mind. Salted Fry versus Mentos Man. Yeah, your match. That's all going to be on Speed Gaming 2 as well. And then, we have Josh 124 versus Incoherent. At 3:20, at 4:20, we've got P-Train versus Divvy Signs. And then late at 5:20, we got Weighty Words versus Big Dunka. And at 5:30 p.m., we've got Clo Power versus Obscure Lifeform. That's not being restreamed either, sorry. And then, I can't read. Syphilis Rod versus Fatboy 300 at 6:30 p.m. And then 10 minutes later, we've got P-Train versus Divvy Signs also then going. So there's going to be a lot of random that's going to be had. So, yeah, if you're a Link to the Past random, these next 3 months, hopefully not that long, will be your months.
I do want to give the usual disclaimer of, on top of those matches scheduled for restreams on Speed Gaming, if you love Rando, you want to watch as much as you can, keep an eye on the schedule. There may be some matches that end up thrown onto the Link to Past Randomizer channels, assuming crew and restreamer availability. So if you really want to watch as much Rando as you can, feel free to keep an eye on the schedule. That'll be updated as things are decided.
All right. Well, does anybody have any last words before we wrap up?
I'll throw out there, Sinek, pleasure commentating with you.
Oh, I've been wanting to do that for a while. It's just that, schedules usually don't align. And they actually didn't align. I kind of forced it.
Yeah, my schedule's not the best for a lot of these.
Hey, it worked out today, huh?
And it did. Other than that, I'll just say, my goodbyes to chat and everyone watching. Thank you for tuning in. Well, I'll see you later.
Good night.